Whoop, whoop, whoop.
We're having a sound issue. Roadcaster.
Mic check.
Alright, we're not getting anything in.
Mic check, mic check. It's coming in a little bit.
Is it?
Yeah,
I'm
like
gonna go and check the.
the green bar is coming up.
Okay.
It's just not coming up as much as it usually does.
I'm gonna go on here. See what we got.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know.
Oh, it's coming up just fine.
Be coming up just fine.
All right.
The only thing that I still have to do, but don't worry about it. I gotta grab the picture for StreamYard. But you can keep going on with what you gotta do.
All right. What up, everybody? As people are starting to come in, today's episode should be it's gonna be an interesting journey that I go on, and hopefully y'all rock with it. And feel free to ask questions whenever you want. I'll chime in, talk, whatever. But you know how we do. You Control You podcast, Mark Shaw Evans. Today's how we start every episode is saying what I'm grateful for. Outside of being grateful for my wife, my kids, my family, I am extremely grateful. I'm extremely grateful to God because I asked some questions this weekend and I got some pretty profound answers quickly. So I appreciate and what's funny is that the answers that I got this weekend I've been getting for about a month or so. So I've just been hard at it and deciding not to listen. So today's episode, what's up, Nikki? Today's episode, From Darkness to Light, the journey of choosing peace. And I didn't realize how much courage it took to choose peace. Like, I had an understanding of it. There were times where I've walked away from situations where I'm like, I'm choosing peace. But it's not, for me anyway, it hit deeper this weekend because I chose peace within myself. And for some of you, you may not understand it, you may not get it, and that's fine. But for me, I made a decision this weekend not to fight. Not to fight when I'm out in Thailand. And I've been training for a month and a half now, riding a bike because I can't run. Been eating super clean, counting calories, doing all this stuff, training. And I've only had like one day where it was like everything was turned on in my brain. Everything was lined up. My brain, my emotions, my body, everything was good to go. And I've been fighting what felt like this uphill battle of constantly being sore, constantly being in pain, finding a way to train through it, but asking myself the same questions I ask all my fighters. And when you start asking people certain questions, like I always ask the fighters, why do you fight? Why are you doing this? Because I don't believe you could do anything great in your life if you don't have a why, if you don't understand what your motivation is for doing it. And I thought I'm going to Thailand. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to actually compete out there. And like, that should be nothing. I am a fighter. This is what I do. I've done this my whole life. And so I asked myself, do I want to do it? Do I crave it? And the answer is always going to be yes. no doubt the answer is going to be yes. I love the competition aspect of it. I love the chess match in it. I love setting traps and going forward. I love getting punched. I love getting kicked. You know, it's that that all is something I enjoy doing. And thank you, Steph. Thank you. The next question I asked myself, can I do it? And it's funny because I kept asking myself, can I do this? Can I do this? And it's weird when my wife was gone for a week. They had a family vacation and I couldn't take off. It's funny because I run my own business, but I couldn't take the time off work because we just took a week out to coach fighters. I had 10 different fighters coaching that I was coaching, and then I'm going on this trip to Thailand, and then the holidays. So I can't really just take another week off like that. So it's just me or me and my son, and it gives me so much. I had so much more time to really think and figure things out for myself. And I'm listening to one of my favorite books. It's called Winning by Tim Grover, and we broke down Relentless a little bit on one of the episodes before, and he's just talking about these things, and it's bringing out certain emotions in me. Like I'm looking in the mirror, just got done shaving, and I'm in tears, and I get in the shower, and I just keep relaying. I keep replaying these questions, and so I say, can I do it? Physically, can I do this? And I don't know. Since last time, I've had 3 knee surgeries, 2 since my last fight. My shoulders haven't gotten better. Both of them, both rotator cuffs are really badly torn, and even if I did surgery, because of my job holding pads, doing things, they're just gonna get torn again. So I just rest them when they need to be rested, and you know, it's crazy. Like, I don't know if I could physically do it. Emotionally, I'm not the same person that I was. Mentally, I'm not the same person that I was. And I think about all these things, and it's like, I don't know if I could do this. And then the last question, is it worth my time? Is it worth the sacrifice? And this question hits deeper for me, because when I was fighting before, like, this is something I've done my whole life, whether it was in the ring, at home, like outside. When I say I've been fighting, like, I've talked about it before. I've been beaten from the time that I can remember, from 5 to like 15, 16, just beaten in my own household. Fighting on the streets, sliced up by a knife, like, jumped. Like, I've fought my whole life. I didn't know anything different. Building a business to me was a fight, because everybody thought I was stupid for building the businesses that I built. And so it was a dogfight. It was like, oh, I'm going to show you. It's like my ego had to show you that you don't know what you're talking about. It's like I had all these naysayers that, oh, it's stupid to start a music business. Okay, watch me. It's stupid to buy this gym. Okay, watch me. It's stupid to continue fighting at your age with 1 foot. Watch me. But then you get to a point in your life where I don't have a better way to say it. It's like, it's so cliche to me. Maybe because I watched the Rocky movies. I don't know. It's like where you become too freaking civilized. Where it's not worth it anymore. Like I think about if I go and fight and before I was willing to die. I remember at 39 when I fought last, I said in training, I'm willing to die to win. This person can't stop me. This person can't beat me because they're not going to be willing to die. I'm going to face death. You could kill me. And so it's like it's such a weird concept, man. And I know I'm probably bouncing all over the place. There's so many things going through my brain right now. And I'm pulling, excuse me, because I'm gonna be pulling different things up on my phone. And so it's just like if I get hurt in this fight, it no longer just affects me. And the weird thing is, it didn't just affect me before. It affected so many other people. But now it affects my fighters for sure. I have a fighter, I have a couple fighters actually that want to spend the rest of their life doing this, and or spend a good portion of their young life to do this. And they need, like, I need to be able to hold pads. I need to be able to function. I need to be able to freaking think. And then I think about my son. My son is 14, and he wants to practice football with me. He wants to work on all these things with me. And right now, I'm so sore that it's hard for me to just go out and toss a football around because my shoulders are banged up. And it's like, what am I doing it for? I'm not going to get any money out of it. I'm just doing it to feed a side of me that feels like it needs to be fed. And for what? So then I'm going through all this, and I just say, God, like, I need to, like, show me something. Like, I'm coming to you. Like, I don't know what else to do. It's like there's still this feeling in my gut that wants to go fight, that wants to go punch somebody in the face, that wants to take a punch. But I don't know if I can walk away from it. And so I go to the gym yesterday, and I train another person. I have a private lesson with someone. I get warmed up. I put my gloves on. I'm like, all right, let's hit some pads. And I do 10 3-minute rounds. I'm not tired. Like, my cardio is fine. But my shoulders are dead. I'm still hitting hard, but my shoulders are dead. And then they go to call a kick. It was like the 5th or 6th round, and they call a kick, and I turn the kick, and I feel nothing but pain in my hip. And though any of you that knows, like, understands Muay Thai or anything like that, when you rotate and kick, you're rotating your whole body, and it's like snap, and I'm snapping my whole body over. And my left leg damn near gives out, like it buckles. And that's the leg I just had surgery on like a couple months ago. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And it's like, now I can't put power into this kick. So I'm doing like really, like, I'm not doing hard kicks right now. And then the final round, I'm doing this clinch. And it's like, I don't have any strength in my arms to be able to like maneuver the way I want. So now I'm taking knees. I shut down the knees, throw some beautiful elbows, and like I'm still, my mind is there, my instincts are there, the knowledge is there, and I'm working around taking less damage because I understand what to do. I've been doing this over a decade, so I understand what to do, but I can't do it. And it's not just that I can't do it, that gear that you need to fight isn't turning on. It's like the Incredible Hulk after he gets smashed by Thanos. It's like he doesn't want to come out. So this side of me isn't coming out. And it's like I have 15 minutes before I got to start training my MMA fighter and put him through hell. And I toss my gloves and I just sit against the wall and I put my hoodie over my head and I just break down. And my assistant coach and my head instructor, it's the same person, he comes over and sits next to me because he was pad feeding me. And he lets me like work through it, and then we start talking. And I'm like, dog, I feel like, I know I shouldn't say the word online, but I feel like a female dog. I didn't use that word. I used a different word. I feel like a bee. Because I can't call that out anymore. It's gone. Or it's not gone. It's like it's not worth it for me to bring it up anymore. I have so much more in my life right now. And I feel like a coward. I feel lost. I feel like a part of me is dead, man. And I know, and I even said it, I'm like, I know it's just my ego. I know it's just my pride. I know what it is. And it's like, it's funny because it took me back to listening to Tyson. Now, I'm not comparing my fight career to Tyson. It was nothing like Tyson. I didn't reach that pinnacle of greatness that he reached. But I reached a pinnacle of greatness that I could reach. I fought my last fight. I stopped this guy in the third round with 1 foot, 2 torn rotator cuffs, and a torn bicep. And I stopped him in the third round. For me, that was the pinnacle of greatness for fighting. Because the odds were stacked against me. I'm 39. He was like 24, 25. Like the odds are stacked against me. I'm banged up and hurt. And I didn't care. I shut him down. And then stopped him. And now it's that animal. And the funny thing is, I knew that. I've talked about that. I've talked about how that side of me isn't there anymore. But for some reason, I thought I could just pull him up whenever I wanted. And the funny thing is, when I really broke it down, the whole reason I wanted to fight is to show my students who I am. Because I thought fighting would show them something. Because none of them were there when I fought. My fighters weren't, one of my fighters happens to be like my son-in-law, so he knows. But like the rest of them, they weren't there. They didn't see it. That's how delusional I was. That I needed to show them this. I needed to show them that I could live it. But I can't. I can't because it's not worth it to me anymore. I have everything I want. And the scariest thing for me to do right now is put the weapons away, put the ego away, lock it up, and figure out a new way to live. And every time I do that, I make a mistake and I just want to go back to fighting because fighting has been the answer my entire life. You're mad at the world? Fight. You're mad at your girl? Fight. You're stressed out? Fight. I remember being so lost that a dude said he wanted to kill me, and I just straight up asked him, where's his gun? Like, what? Where's your gun? You said you're going to kill me. I can't even fathom saying that right now. My wife came home after I got, like, she took my son to practice, and then I got home, and then when she got home from doing that, she's talking to me, and I'm just like in my own area trying to get my head straight, and she's asking me what's up and pushing me to talk, and I talk, and just tears flow down, and I'm like, man, I'm such a bee. Like, I don't, like, what the, something's wrong with me. I've lost a part of me. And she's like, most people would be happy that that side of them is gone. I'm like, most people didn't only have that. For the past not even 5 years, for the past 2 years, I have felt like an infant trying to figure out how to live in this world, that's so-called, this quote unquote civilized world. And it's like, the rules are so different. I used to have all this anger and sadness and darkness that just sat in there, that it's like, ooh, I'm tired, I can work harder. Ooh, I don't need to eat, I can work harder. And I could just feed off of it, and now I can't. And trying to figure out, and like the jobs that require, the work that's required of me now isn't physical labor anymore. It's, can I edit some videos, which I hate? Can I make some social media posts, which I despise? Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do all the stuff that I don't want to do to make my business grow? Like, I thought fighting before was the greatest publicity that I could have for owning a gym. It's like, hey, if this guy who's battered and crippled and handicapped can go fight and he can go figure it out, I want to go learn from that person. And it did bring in students, but now I can't do that because now there's students at my gym. There's a full physical training and nutrition program that runs at my gym. There's grappling and BJJ at the gym. There's Muay Thai and self-defense. And it's like, I'm bringing a UFC fighter to my gym. I'm literally living my dream. And because I don't know how to function in this world, my first thought is sabotage. Let's just mess it all up. Let's go fight, mess up our body so that we can go out on our sword. It's funny because I told my wife, like, I understand why warriors wanted to die in battle. Because trying to live in this world when you get older it's like, it's so confusing. I don't know, man. Like part of me understands it because for most of my life, I've lived in such a survivor's mode. Now I'm gonna have Corey pull up this chart in a little bit, but and the weird thing is I've had to do all this reading and all this research to help my fighters, to help my students, because if you've ever coached, you understand that you're not just a coach, you're a therapist. So you got to be up on game. So I've read all these books about understanding the mind and the emotions and why people think like this and why people want to go there and why people do this and why people want to do that. And like a lot of my fighters who have fought under me no longer fight because they're like, I'm not battling the same demons, because we're working those demons out in a fight camp. It's like face your fears. So it's like I know all this stuff. But for the first time, I've really had to confront it. For the first time, it's like it's one thing to just say it. Yeah, I'm not going to fight no more. I'm not the same man. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, yes, I can. Yes, I can. But to actually do it, to give time and effort and sacrifice, and to know that you can't do it, to know that that just doesn't turn over the same way, that you don't have those same demons, that same darkness, and the only reason you were fighting is because of that. You didn't fight because you were, because it's what you started out doing and it's just what you love to do. You were fighting against some demon, some darkness within you, and now you've dug it out, and you can't flip that script no more. If someone broke in my house, I could flip that script. If someone attacks my family, I could do that. But like, I can't just do it just on a whim anymore because I don't want to get hurt. I'm actually scared to get hurt. And I've never lived my life like that. I've never been afraid to get hurt. And to actually say that I'm afraid of something is like, it's so frustrating. Because I'm not even afraid of hurt for me. If I was just by myself, I'd be fine. But it's like, I can't get hurt because who's going to take care of my wife? I can't get hurt because who's going to take care of my kids? I can't get hurt because who's going to take care of this, and this? It's like, and the only person I could ask is God, because, man, I would have. This is one of those few times where having a dad would like come in handy. But I asked God, and it was like, my body just wouldn't. I just couldn't do it. So as I started this, I understand what they mean by choosing peace takes courage, because when you choose peace, it's one of the most difficult things you could do, because everything in you, there's still parts of you that wants to go do it. There's still parts of you that just wants to, but you can't fight like that. If I was doing an exhibition just for fun, yeah, I could do that, because then it's glorified sparring. But to go walk in a ring where they want to murder you, when they want to rip your head off, I don't have that gear anymore. I could talk about having it. I could talk about, and I know what it feels like, but to sustain it for a fight, I don't have that anymore. I could turn it on for 5 minutes, but I don't have that gear to go 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds. It'd be Apollo Creed versus Drago, where you just don't got it, and the young guys are hungry. If you don't have that hunger, you can't win that. You can't compete in that. And it's so weird. It's like it's like a doctor finally taking their own medicine. I finally had to take my own medicine, and I get it. If I'm going to be sore from working out, it's got to be just for health reasons. But I don't have to be so sore where I can't enjoy life with my family. I'm going to Thailand, which happens to be a beautiful place, and I'm still going to train, but I was going to train and not enjoy anything over there. At 44, I was going to go over there and train like I'm 24 and not enjoy anything with my wife over there. She was going to go sit on a beach, and I'd just be getting sweaty and training. The ego in me. I wanted my wife to see that side of me. I wanted my students to see that. Because I feel, because when it boils down to it, parts of me still don't feel like I'm enough. Parts of me still feel like I need to do more in this realm. But I've done everything I possibly could in this realm. And now I have to figure out how to do these other things and conquer these worlds. How do I make my podcast blow up? How do I make my book, when it's done, become a New York's bestseller? How do I take my gym from this height and get a second gym and grow it to the third gym and continue to grow these businesses? How do I make sure that my son gets to college and learns how to use his brain, because that's not how I was raised? It should be so easy to say I don't want to fight, it's not a big deal. But it literally feels like I'm losing a major part of who I am. It's like my identity is tied into being a fighter, and I'm not that anymore, so who the hell am I? People call me a leader, people call me this, like, I've always looked at myself like a fighter. And when you're not, and I don't even know if I was at like top tier level, what I would be feeling if I couldn't do this anymore. I understand what they feel like now. Now I really have to become the Incredible Hulk that was in Endgame and use my brains, because that version that got beat by Thanos is essentially, I didn't, and what's weird, because I won my last fight, but it's like where I have to go isn't worth it. I completely ignored my ex-wife when I was training for a fight. I didn't want anything to do with her because our marriage wasn't good, so it was easy to shut her out. It was eat, sleep, see my kids, train, coach others. Now it's podcasting and writing a book and social media and coach my fighters and teach the classes and run this business and be a good husband, and like just building our patio destroyed my arms and knees, and I still got to go train. And it's like, what am I doing? I wish I would have got the message a long time ago, because I damn sure talked about it. I'm damn sure like, yeah, I can't fight anymore because I don't have it no more. Or I'm a civilized person. It's, I was telling Corey at the beginning, like, it takes me so many damn times to learn the same lesson sometimes. It's like I'm so hard-headed. I think I could do the damn impossible. And it's helped me out so much. I call certain people upper brain thinkers, like people who maybe they played sports but not really. They didn't do it. If they weren't good at something, they just stopped doing it. They did really good at school. They're engineers now, or computer software people. It's like they're upper brain thinkers. They learned how to use the top. They know how to use a different part of their brain, and they didn't have to use their physical body to solve their problems. It's like they were able to mentally work it out. And it's like for them, when I teach them how to when they choose to fight, it's like I have to reach in a little deeper to pull that dog out of them, because they've never used their physical body to solve any problems, to deal with adversity. Where me, it's on the flip side. I am learning how to be an upper brain thinker and use my brain to solve certain problems, and not my emotions, and not my strength, and not is crazy to me. All I wanted to do my entire life is I wanted to fight, and I wanted to, it rhymes with duck but starts with an F. Have sex. Have sex and fight. That's it. That was my life. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't care if the fight was out in a bar. I didn't care if it was on a street. I didn't care if it was on a ring. I didn't care where it was. I just wanted to fight and have sex. That's it. And now I want to build a patio with my wife. I want to throw a ball with my son. I want to live a civilized life. And I feel like such a bee for that, internally. Even though here I know it's not true. And what I mean by that, can you pull that up now, Corey? Well, while he's pulling it up, I could talk about it. So, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, a lot of us, when you go through a whole lot of stuff, right? When you are, for me, not everybody goes through the same kind of trauma, but a lot of us go through a lot of stuff in our childhood. And when we do that, right, it puts us in a survival mind frame. And being sexually assaulted at such a young age by men, being abused by men, being just dealing with countless things, it put me in like the bottom tier. Wait, it disappeared, Corey.
Oh, you wanted to stay
Yeah. Yes, please. Yes, please. So, what is this? Physiological needs: breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. What they don't talk about as well, sometimes you got to find some, you got to dive in deeper, is that in that place in the red, that's also where your sex drive is also the highest. So if you're talking like cavemen, if you're talking like anybody that's had to fight for their life, essentially, it puts them in this. And then the next tier is safety and security: health, employment, property, family, and social ability. So now you get a job, now you get health insurance, now you're starting to live a different life. Things are starting to turn around. Love and belonging, friendship, family, intimacy, sense of connection. Then the next tier is self-esteem, where confidence, achievement, respect of others, the need to be a unique individual. And then the last one, self-actualization, where you have morality, creativity, acceptance, experience, purpose, meaning, and inner potential. Like, I've touched the top of that pyramid. And I wanted to drop down. Like, it's crazy because a lot of this is based on a lot of different psychologists have added in the fact that money has a lot to do with this, right? When you're poor, you're in survival mode, like you don't know anything else. But as you get more money, you start to look at yourself differently. Where mine wasn't about money, it was about, wait, so what? In theory, stop. Okay, I'm now that I'm recognizing TikTok a little bit more, I'll touch on that in a second. But it's building the life that I always dreamt about. A loyal wife that's got my back. Giving my kids a different life than I had. Being able to come to home to a house, a dog, having my own, running my own businesses. Like I'm living my dream. I've built my dream. There are still more things I want to add to my dream, but then, so when I look at that, when I'm like, yeah, I've done it. Why do I almost let my ego drag me to hell. I almost let it do it. And I know I would have regretted it. I wouldn't have came back. I would have came back beaten. Who knows? Maybe needing another knee surgery, maybe for sure needing surgery on my shoulders, maybe brain damage. All for what? To prove something, which sucks. Can you scroll up? BM, thank you for the chili. I've never got a chili before, so now I'm talking to people on TikTok. Anybody online anywhere you could talk? Let's see. You were supposed to suffer and sweat by making good decisions, not sweating doing the job physically. You're right. I think it all has to do with how much love we received as kids. Yeah, you're right on point on that one. You're right on point on that one. This is a true testimony. You deserve it. Thank you. Appreciate you. Maslow's triangle, really? So, Bland Nelson, no one ever touches it in theory. Stop capping. What you mean no one touches it? A lot of people aren't even born in survivor mode. They're born right into the yellow or the green. They're like, my wife started in yellow. She started in yellow. So it's like that's why she's able to look at the world like with rainbows and stuff. I'm like, she was on the episode with me not too long ago. It's crazy. I mean, where they accept themselves, where they experience purpose, meaning, and inner potential. I mean, lots of people, like monks, reach that point, and they don't even have money. That's why I don't know. I don't think it's all based on money. I know in our country, it's easier when you have money. You either have to give everything up and go live as a monk, and then you could reach that, or you have enough money to be able to give you the lifestyle that allows you to take time for yourself, to go on vacations, to go do things on your own, to live a different life. If you're completely broke and living on the street, you can't, like, you're struggling to find the next meal. So it's this entire journey has been mind-blowing for me, and I'm thankful for it. I'm in pain right now, and it hurts. Frustrated and saddened, but most definitely, like, I'm thankful for this journey, because it's going to be really hard for me to decide to put on a pair of gloves and say I'm fighting. I can still spar, I can still do things. I have fun doing those things, and if I ever got offered an exhibition, I might take that. But I for real know that I can't get in there. I can't get in there with those dogs. My teeth are no longer sharp enough to get in there with those dogs. I'm sharpening my teeth in other ways. I'm doing what an eagle does, right? Um, I had to. I feel like that's what I've done. I don't feel. I know that's what I've done with this journey. Is that I got rid of my claws so I can grow new ones. Got rid of my beak so I can grow a new one and be sharp. But now I need to hunt different things. I have to hunt social media. I have to hunt editing videos and working on that. I have to hunt new business ideas. I have to hunt building brands up. I have to hunt it differently. And I can't hunt it as a fighter. I have to hunt it as this content creature that just wants to build a bigger empire and legacy for his family. Yeah. Oh snap! You teach I don't teach Mai Tai. I teach Muay Thai. But yes, I don't know what Mai Tai is a drink, ain't it?
Yeah.
That's funny. I've been there. Had to lose the game. It's rough but worth it. Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Queen. It's. I swear on Corey, one of Corey's podcasts, Black Currency, I talked about knowing all this stuff. And here I am. I didn't learn. It's like I knew what to say, but I wasn't true to it. And I really had to come to grips and be honest with myself, like I'm not that person. I could turn it on for a round. And I do it in sparring. Where all the spidey senses are on, I'm trapping and making them look foolish. But like if I do that for a whole fight, I'm not gonna be able to walk. And what's the point of that? Now there's never I have 3 50-year-olds that take my class right now. Take one of my classes. So no, 50 is not too old to learn Muay Thai. Not at all. I even had a 51 and a 53-year-old win a belt. They were able to stay healthy. So, like, go ahead and give that a try. And if Muay Thai isn't for you, figure out maybe Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Do something, though. Yeah, I like that answer. That's a good answer right there. So, I know I did a lot of talking, and I'm trying to interact with people now. So if you got questions, anything, start hitting me with questions, and I appreciate y'all rolling with me. Diana, what is that? What's that? Community Fest, thank you. I don't think I ever got one of those either, man. I'm rocking with y'all, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all so much. Where's your school? We're in Madison, Wisconsin, bro. Where you at? I just came across this life as it spoke to me at the title, Choosing Peace. Yeah. Ooh. Choosing Delaware. I mean, there's probably some dope gyms out there. You should follow, like, inbox me and let me do some research. I know a lot of great coaches all over. And even if I don't know any personally in Delaware, I can ask some of my East Coast people and see if they know something. I'm from Milwaukee. That's what's up. There's 2 good gyms in Milwaukee, Pure Vita and Rufus Sports. I actually started boxing at Rufus Sports when I was 19. So that's what's up. Yeah, as far as choosing peace and I talked about it, like it's so hard. Like if someone came up and wanted to fight, that's easy for me to walk away. But I was purposely trying to walk myself into some nonsense for no reason. Oh, that's what's up. West Bend, yeah, not far at all. So man, What you think, Corey?
I think that you're experiencing, things that a lot of retired athletes are experiencing. Like I'm thinking, like the thing that made me think about it, plus because you said Tim Grover, was Michael Jordan, the athlete that has a seemingly insatiable appetite for being competitive. And when basketball was over, like what was that for him? To be like, I mean, he still went out on top.
Yeah, and he had to come back. He had to come back and
so when the thing was over with the second three-peat, what does he do? How does he transition? Being at the top of the game and being competitive was really all that he knew.
Yeah.
And now you're saying, well, you're gonna have to figure out a way to live your next 30 to 40 years. How do you assimilate yourself into that? So it made me think about what you're going through, and it made me think, well, what has that been like for someone like him, or Mike Tyson, which we've seen that struggled with that.
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
Times.
Mike Tyson for sure. Like that's the one I relate with probably the most because Michael Jordan, like Mike Tyson did his last few fights just because of money.
Yeah.
Like he talked about it, like he did it just for money. And it's I'm about to send you something here, but
okay.
And I don't know how you pull it up, but it's just a video. But and if you can't pull it up, that's fine. But it's like I feel it so much because here, and I mean, if you can't pull it up, I could just talk about it.
Yeah.
But Michael Jordan seemed to he went and bought a team.
Yeah.
And he did other things and Kobe Bryant put his energy into other things. And like I'm trying to put the energy into other things,
right.
But it's like you get used to having. The thing about fighting is that you get used to having somebody there with you. It's not like you put in a lot of time on your own. Like I work, like even on this journey, I was working the bag by myself. I was doing things on my own. Most of my workouts were on my own. But you have someone to hold pads with. You have somebody to do certain things with. And it's like when I'm editing videos in my office, it's like it's the most boring, tedious thing that I don't enjoy at all. It's like I just want to go punch something.
Right.
Like that's because at least then when I'm tired and I'm sore and I'm mentally and physically and emotionally exhausted, I can say, hey, I did that. When I edit a video, I don't have the same feeling. And kudos to you because you do it and you're like, yeah. And I'm like,
no, when it comes to video.
Oh, well, so you're in the same boat as me. So like, in social media work, it's like, man, I don't want to do that. It's like, I don't want to do this either. But it's like all these things that I don't want to do, I have to do.
Right.
How hard is it getting VO work?
Voiceover work. I think he wants you to do voiceovers for him.
Or is maybe he's got a dope voice and he wants to do it. I don't know. It wasn't hard for me. I don't get a lot of work, but I do get work. And it's mainly, it's like motivational videos I've done. A lot of women like my voice, so that it comes in handy. So I emailed you that video.
Okay.
So I don't know. And before I get offline, like this one, it's so crazy. Like because again, I'm not on his level. Like I recognize I'm not on Tyson's level. I didn't fight for world championships on HBO. I didn't have millions of dollars. For me, my last fight, there were what, 200 to 400 people in the audience, and it wasn't for a belt. And I I asked for it to purposely. Um,
You send to the dash one?
nope, I'm a moron. I sent it to myself. I'm sending it to you right now.
Yep.
Um, I asked to fight like early because I had to coach. I was coaching the main event fight, so it was like I was fighting and coaching on the same night, and I chose to have an earlier fight. Like I understand I'm nothing like Tyson in the ways that people are thinking about. All I know is that like when I did this fight, it was bananas.
Oh, it's no Mr. TikTok.
Well, if you can't, new feature floating player, like I don't know if you can pull it up in there, but if you can't, I could just talk about it.
Wait a second. Let me see what information.
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, man. Like if you're really trying to get into voiceover work, it's just what I would do is make some video, like do some voiceover work yourself. Like what helped me is that I was just making videos, and people would comment on my voice. Like a lot of my motivational videos, people would comment on like how they like my voice, and then I would just go back to them and tell them, hey, if you want me to do something, and then some of them, again, women, wanted me to like basically tell stories, like read stories, and so I did that. So you'd be amazed. It's just, oh, if you got to do all that, man, it's not worth it. I could just read it.
Okay.
It's not a problem. So he talks about how he understands the art of fighting and understands the art of war. Like I've read, when he talks about Napoleon and Genghis Khan and Alexander, it's like I've read all about every single conqueror of anything. I've read books about Caesar. I've read like all the great leaders. I've read books on. Like I've read The Art of War, I think probably well over 200 times. 48 Laws of Power, 33 Strategies of War, like all these books I've read. I just love reading these type of books. And he's talking about he was annihilator. That's all he was born for. And now those days are gone. It's empty. I'm nothing. I'm working on being the art of humbleness. That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. Because sometimes I feel like a bee. Because I don't want to be that person. I don't want that person to come out, because if he comes out, hell is coming with him. I've talked about that. Like, in order for me to go to that place, it's not that, like, I can go to that place. I know I can. But then I won't care about my wife. I won't care about my house. I won't care about anything else. I'll just be focused on this. And it's not worth it to me anymore. Imagine I would become the Hell Rider. Be on the motorcycle, skull, chains. Wait, what do they call him?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. I would become the Ghost Rider. I'd become literally just a shell of myself to everybody else in the world. And for what? I was willing to sacrifice my previous marriage. I was willing to sacrifice all this stuff. I'm not anymore. So I feel him. I feel him 100% when he talks about it. It's crazy. But yeah, on to the next chapter. That's the hard part. I've turned the page, and I've gone a couple pages into the next chapter, and then I go backwards. Because I'm so afraid of walking a different path that requires a whole different set of skills that I've never had to use. Oh, damn, that's honest for you. That's some honesty right there. And just like a afraid little boy, I felt the answer was fighting back. When the answer is really simple. Just use your head for something other than a punching bag. Use the skills that you ask these youths that you mentor to use. Yeah, most definitely. Hero of the Universe says, trusting yourself through the process. Yeah, that's hard. It's scary. Trent says, I'm 37, an artist, and only time I feel peace is when I'm alone and by myself. I feel that. I feel that. I've learned how to find peace, though, be when I'm with my wife, when I'm with my kids. Like, and that's the process. Like, imagine Bane 20 years later, and he's got a kid. And he marries, and picture him marrying I don't know, Christian virgin. I don't know. Like you see it in stories all the time. Man meets a woman that is nothing like him, and he becomes a civilized man. It's crazy. But it's why I believe every man should be married. Find a partner that knows you have a dark, dark side within you and loves you anyway and wants you to be a better person. If that makes sense. So, man, I love y'all for rocking with me. I appreciate y'all so much. This is therapy for me, that I'm able to just come on here and talk. I appreciate y'all. And hopefully the things that I say continue to help you. Feel free to DM me, inbox me. If there's something you want me to talk about, if there's questions that you have, I'm always here. I'm always down to help. Man, I love y'all. Thank you for the support. Deuces. We out. Peace.